am working on figuring out the tech for all of this. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, I want to call something out. I want to talk about something that is about to start to stir in the collective. And I want to share something a little bit different than maybe what you're hearing out there. So I'm going to say something a little bit bold here, my friend. Mercury retrograde does not create chaos. Mercury retrograde does not create chaos. What it does do is it exposes where you don't trust yourself. It exposes where you are still trying to hold on to control, where you might still be over-explaining things, where you're afraid to disappoint someone, where you're still reacting instead of leading. And so retrograde, my friend, is testing your nervous system. And today we're talking not about survival, not about how to cope with Mercury retrograde, because we are leaders, my friend. We're talking about the version of you that shows up when things don't go your way. Because that, my friend, is real leadership. That is a leader. Hello, hello, and welcome to Sacred CEO Sessions. If we have not met, I am Danny Simuniz, the founder of Sacred CEO. I teach conscious leadership and I guide women to lead themselves. Let's go ahead and ground in our energy. So I just want you to, if you are in a place where you can, take a nice deep breath in, close your eyes, and just let it all go. And do that once again. And just letting it all go. Allowing yourself to tune in right here, right now, to you. Opening yourself up to hear whatever it is that you need to hear today for your greatest and highest good. I recognize right here, right now, that there is one intelligence moving through all of us. Nothing is happening to us. Everything is revealing more of who we are. I know that I lead. I know that the person who is watching this is leading from their inner authority. We respond from grounded clarity. We do not live at the effect of the collective. I declare that whatever is surfacing now, whatever is coming forward right here, right now, is here to help refine us. It is not here to break us. It is not here to make us survive. It is here to help us be a better version of ourselves. And in this truth, I am so grateful. I am so blessed for the opportunity right here, right now, that this particular season is bringing forward for me, for us, for the collective. And I release this, knowing my word is law, knowing that it has been heard and is unfolding into the physical reality. I release and let go, and so it is. Take a nice deep breath in, letting it all go. Beautiful, my friend. All right, well, let's dive in, because I want to talk about something that I see, right? And this is, who do you become when things don't go your way? Now, I started this conversation just a couple of days ago with a video I did on our Sacred CEO protocol for Mercury retrograde, where I talked about reviewing, refining, repairing, and resetting. The thing that I do every single Mercury retrograde, because things are happening, my friend. Life is lifing. This masterclass called life is always happening, and there are always going to be things that are going to trip us up. So in that video, I talked about that protocol that you can do during the retrograde season. You can actually do this anytime, right? It's not specific to Mercury retrograde. It's a great protocol that you can use as somebody who is in leadership, as somebody who is leading themselves. This is a great protocol. Now, the video is called Scattered During Mercury Retrograde. Here's what to do. You can find that on the YouTube channel. You can find it as episode 201 on the Cosmic Mystic podcast. Today, though, what I wanted to talk about is who do you become when things go wrong? Because I can guarantee you that not everything is always going to go our way. Would you agree with this? Has everything you've ever set out to gone your way? I can tell you, no, it has not always gone my way. So I want to ask you, when plans change, when someone misunderstands you, when tech does not work, when it's not working in your favor. I'm somebody who loves tech, right? And yet it doesn't always work in my favor. It is not, tech is going to do what tech is going to do, right? When urgency hits, when there's this urgency or somebody else's urgency is landing in your lap, what do you do? What do you do? Do you tighten, get defensive? I just worked with a client on this last night. She has a very strong belief that was instilled upon her that you have to defend yourself, right? So when plans change or when someone doesn't understand you or when things are not going as planned, do you go on defense, right? Do you over explain or do you try to explain all the things? Do you maybe withdraw, right? You're like, I'm just going to step over there, right? I'm just going to hide. I think of like Homer Simpson just hiding back, right? Like you're like, nope. Do you start blaming? Do you start going to blaming mode? Well, it's their fault because they didn't do this and they should have done this and they should have done that. Do you spiral down? Do you go down into that spiral, that hole? My friend, whatever that is, whatever you're doing, whether it's tightening, whether it's like closing in, like the crab, right? It closes in, whether you are on the defense, whether you are over explaining, whether you are withdrawing, whatever it is, blaming, that is your leadership pattern. That is what you do when things aren't going your way. This is what you fall into. This is the pattern that you fall into. Retrogrades reveal that pattern for you. Now, if that pattern is serving you, great, right? If it's not, which I'm pretty sure most of the time it's not the case, because I know for myself that when I see a pattern like withdrawing or getting defensive or wanting to blame others, that's not working for my greatest and highest good. That is not helping me be the best version of myself. So what Mercury retrograde is here to do is reveal that for you. In that video, I did talk about that very first thing is review, and retrogrades being a review cycle, a time for you to review. So as you're navigating this Mercury retrograde, I'm going to invite you to look at this as, okay, if something's not going my way, what am I doing? What do I do? What do I turn to? What are the beliefs that I have? What are the things that I start to do? Now, the second thing that starts to come in here is there are really two versions of you that happen when things don't go your way, right? When your normal routine starts to go, there's a version of you who feels like everything is against me, everyone is against me, and nothing is going in my way, nothing is working in my favor. And then there's the second version of you that is grounded and curious. Grounded and curious. Which one are you rehearsing more? Which one are you rehearsing more often? Right? This is awareness, my friend. This is all I'm here to help you see, awareness. When I know, so there are times when things definitely don't go my way. I'm a recovering people pleaser, and I'm also a recovering control addict, which means I needed to be in control of things because that meant that I was okay. If I could control the thing, then I was okay. If I couldn't control the thing, I would get all out of whack. I'd be all over the place. I would go into this like emotional like explosion. There's a particular experience that happened. It was very early on in my love and I's relationship. We were celebrating my mom's birthday, and we were going to go to my brother's house to celebrate her birthday. And my parents were staying with us in our apartment, and we had to leave, right, a little bit earlier because it was a surprise party for my mom. And we had to go pick up the cake. And I didn't order a cake. I hadn't ordered a cake, so I had to go find a cake on the route. And I had to get there before my mom did, not letting her know what was happening, right? Not leading into, hey, we're about to throw you a surprise party. So I tell my love, who is somebody who is not an on-time person. I am an on-time person. He is not. And so I told him, hey, we need to leave at this time so that we have enough time to get to the bakery, well, to find a bakery, to get the cake, and then to get to my brother's house. It was about 30 minutes away from us, and then be there right before my mom got there. And he was like, okay, yeah. And the time came that we were supposed to leave. So I think, let's stop here for a second. I was in the place of, this is the plan. This is what we're doing. Here's how it's going to happen. This is it. And then a disruption happens. It's the time, and he's not ready. And he's like just getting in the shower, not ready, right? He's somebody that says, it only takes me 10 minutes to get ready, when in actuality, it probably takes him like 30 minutes to get ready. And some days it could take 10 minutes, but some days it could take longer. So because of this disruption that was happening, I immediately went into panic mode. I went into, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? We're going to be late. And I went into all of these thoughts of, he's not respecting me, he doesn't care about me, he doesn't care about this, he doesn't understand. Like I blamed all the things on him. So when I kept going, hello, it's time to go. And it wasn't so nice and pleasant as that, let's just say. He kept stirring and stirring and stirring. And he was like, okay, I'm coming. I'm like, all right, I'm almost ready. And I'm like, we gotta go. And I'm trying not, right, to lose it, but I'm losing it. And so we get in the car and we start driving, and I'm looking up, like I could have done this, but I was in such a place at the time that I couldn't see anything else in front of me. All I could see was he needed to get out of the shower, he needed to get his clothes on, and he needed to get in the car so that we could go. That's all I could see. It was like I was so focused in on this one thing, I couldn't see anything else. So we get in the car, and I start looking up bakeries to find a bakery that we could stop at, that we could see if they had a cake, if I could order a cake and have it right there, if they already had pre-made cakes. Like in my mind, that was like the thing. And because I was frantically looking and so worried about being late and not finding this cake, I was in such turmoil that he asked, I'm gonna stop, or can I stop for coffee? Like right here. And it was like at a 7-Eleven, which is like in and out. It's not, it's not like we're going to a Starbucks where it could take a little bit longer, right? We're going to a 7-Eleven. And he said, can I stop at the 7-Eleven real quick to get some coffee? And I was like, no, and yelled and just went off like, we have to find this cake and we have to go do this and we have to and we're running late because of you. And just all the things came out. Now, at the time, I will 100% admit we were both not who we are now. And so we both reacted. He reacted to my urgency. And then I began to react from his frustration. All he wanted was a cup of coffee. All he wanted was a cup of coffee. And it actually would have worked out, right? Had I let him get coffee, because that's where I was in that place. It was so controlling that you cannot go and get coffee, that if he would have went and taken, I don't know, probably like 3 minutes to get his coffee, I could have probably found a bakery. But instead what happened is we kept driving and I passed tons of bakeries, not knowing, because I'm frantically looking and trying to find, and we're driving and passing all the bakeries that are near us. And so I end up having to go to a grocery store to get a cake, which it wasn't the best cake, right? Not the cake that I wanted, not the one that I know my mom likes. It was just this random cake that I got from a grocery store. And granted, we got there with more than enough time before my parents arrived. My dad was in on it, so he knew to stall my mother and stop along the way. Everything ended up working out exactly as it needed to. But I was so busy trying to control the situation, first off, and second, being at the effect of him, right? Of things, of thinking that everybody else was to blame when there was something that I could have done in the moment. Now, granted, could he have been on time? Absolutely. Could I have worked that a little bit differently? Absolutely. I have learned that if I need to leave at a certain time, I have to tell my love a different time because that is just, it's who he is and it's how he runs. And I've learned that is who he is, right? Just as I'm an on-time person and he knows that, I know that he's not, right? And so we've learned, that was a relationship thing that we had to learn and overcome. But the thing about controlling and the thing about it not going my way, I spiraled out of control. I was being at the effect, I was being the victim, instead of being the person who was grounded and curious. If I would have allowed myself in that moment to stay grounded and curious, I could have realized that while he was in the shower, I could have been looking up bakeries online. I could have found a bakery. I probably even could have called the bakery and reserved a cake or seen if they had the cake that I wanted, right? There are so many things that I could have done in that, 10, 15 minutes of him getting ready. But I was so focused and so caught. My friend, that is awareness. When we can see what we did, what we created in a situation, who we're being, how we're acting, where can we take responsibility? And that right there, my friend, I can tell you exactly where I can take responsibility. I can tell you exactly what I could have done. I just said that to you. I want to go a little bit deeper here. So most women who are in a leadership transition. And let me explain what I mean by a leadership transition. Meaning you are either stepping into leadership, you are maybe you're becoming a leader in your company, you're becoming a leader on social media, you're becoming a leader in your family, right? You're becoming a leader in maybe your work. Right? Maybe you're stepping into a leadership role and now you have people that you are leading. Most women who are in that transition fear being misunderstood, being seen as wrong, losing credibility, right? Losing control. So when a retrograde comes up and it starts to stir that communication, right? And we start to have mishaps in communications or issues in communication, it tends to hit our identity. Now, I thought I was somebody who was leading. If you were to have asked me, back then when this whole situation happened, if I was a leader, I would have told you 100% yes. I was leading that situation because I told him when we needed to go. I had the plan worked out. I was so prepared and ready to go for all the things that everything had to go my way though. And that's where my problem arose. My friend, this is why this can feel charged. This time can feel a little heavy or hard. It's because it's hitting you on an identity level. It's asking you, who are you? Who are you when things don't go your way? Because that, my friend, is the juiciness. That is the beauty of life. Now, if this, right, if there's something coming up for you, whether you're catching this live with me or you're on the replay, I'd love to know what is coming up for you. What are you seeing? Who, maybe even answer, who are you when things don't go your way? Do you resonate with the control freak like me? Do you resonate with somebody who is on time, and when people aren't on time, it just frustrates you, right? Are you somebody who is in a transition and learning, right? And navigating, how am I being, right? So I'd love for you to drop something in the comment of where you are. Let's make this, let's hone this in, because this not only helps you start to identify where it is so that your mind can really grasp a hold of this and start to look out for this pattern for you. It's also helping others that are watching this video, that are listening to this, that are in the response of this. It helps them also. So if you're a leader, my friend, which I know you are, drop one word in the comment. What's being activated for you as we step into this retrograde season? Is it communication? Is there communication mishaps or issues that are happening? Is it revolving tech? I talked about a tech situation that I had, a Mercury retrograde, I've had it twice actually. So it was probably about 3 years ago. And then before that, it was probably about 7 years ago, give or take. I think it was around 2019, 2020, somewhere in that realm. I talked about the tech issue that I had. So is it around tech? Is tech not functioning for you? Is there a tech issue? Is it in decisions? Is there, are you overwhelmed with decisions, or does it seem like you're stuck in decisions, or are you making so many decisions that you just have decision fatigue? It's like, I don't want to make any more decisions. Is it in relationships, right? One of the things that Mercury rules over is siblings. And so I always say with retrogrades is that people from your past will usually come forward, especially when there's a certain area of your life that is being activated. So siblings, if you're somebody who is maybe not close with your siblings, you might have some interaction with your siblings, or past friendships, right? Those could also be coming forward. People that are close in your neighborhood, that could also be coming forward. Maybe it's an overthinking. Maybe you're like, oh yeah, I've been overthinking a lot. We are also in Aquarius season, which Aquarius season tends to be very mental energy. So there's lots of thoughts here. Or maybe you're somebody that's in that urgency energy. It's like, oh, we got to get this done, got to get it done. Or somebody else's urgency and you're, being pulled into their urgency. Where are you being activated with this week? Let me know down in the comments. And if you have any questions about anything that I've stated so far, anything that I've said, I'd love to know. I love to know any questions that you have, and I'm open to answering any questions. I do have a few questions that I have actually answered this week that I do want to bring up for you. So I'm gonna, while you're either commenting, and even if you're watching this on the replay, my friend, feel free to comment. I'll definitely come back in and answer any questions I can, or maybe even do another live around it. I absolutely love doing lives. I used to do them a lot before, and I'm starting to come back to doing them again. So one of the questions that I've kind of answered this week just with my clients is, if you're replaying conversations over and over, what do you do? What do you do if you're like replaying the conversation over and over? So the first thing I would ask, if you're replaying the conversation over and over, what are you looking for? Like, is it that what are you meaning? Like, what are you afraid was said or wasn't said? Were you clear, right? A lot of the times it's like, oh, I should have said this, or I shouldn't have said that, right? And so if there is something where maybe you said something and maybe you shouldn't have said something, that's an opportunity for you to make amends around that, right? Make amends around that conversation. Most of the time when we're replaying a conversation is because we're making it mean something. We're telling ourselves a story about that conversation. So what is that? What are you making that conversation mean? Or what is the story that you're telling? Another thing might be if you're over explaining something. So when we're over explaining something, first off, generally, we're not grounded. We're not grounded in what we think. We're not grounded in what we believe. We're trying to pull things right out of the air. And so when the other thing is, we're afraid of what the other person might think, or we're not wanting to rock the boat in some way. As somebody, again, who is a recovering people pleaser, I used to over explain a lot. Like if somebody texted me and I didn't answer them right away, this was a very common one for me, I would sit there and start to over explain. I'm so sorry, I didn't see your text. I've been busy all day. I had this going on. Like all of these things to explain why I didn't respond sooner, right? I even had a situation just recently where it wasn't necessarily that I was over explaining, but it was this idea of the people pleaser, right? Where I wanted, like, I didn't feel the need. I didn't feel compelled because, again, recovering, learned a lot. I didn't feel compelled to jump in and explain all the things. It was like, I'll take care of this, right? Like, I'm working on this today. I just communicated the message that needed to be communicated, as in I'm working on this, right? Or I'm doing this. It wasn't, oh, I'm so sorry that I missed this, and it's because this happened, right? And this, and trying to explain why I wasn't there or why I didn't respond sooner. It was simply clean. Yes, I'm working on it. It'll be done today, right? So my friend, you don't have to over explain anything. There's a communication that needs to happen, right? We need to tell the person, hey, this is the thing, whatever that is, but we don't need to go in and over explain everything. I'd invite you to sit with, what are you afraid of, right? By over explaining. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid is going to happen, or what somebody is going to think? Now, I want to take a moment just to reset. So I just want you to place a hand on your heart and one on your belly if that feels good to you. And again, this is such a good anchor. Just take a nice deep breath in and just let it all go. We're going to do this once again. And we're just going to let it all go. And I want you to just ask yourself right here, right now, what identity am I trying to protect right now? What identity am I trying to protect right now? And allow that to come forward. And then I want you to ask yourself, if I were to choose to be grounded, to be a grounded leader. What does that look like right here, right now? What does that look like? Just take a nice deep breath in. Let it all go. And what does it look like for you, my friend? For you. Not what it's like for me, not what it's like for your neighbor, not what it's like for your mom or your friend or your coach or somebody you see online. What is it for you? Take another nice deep breath in. Letting it all go. Beautiful, my friend. All right. My friend, I'm going to wrap up this video. If you have any questions about anything that I've shared today, anything around maybe this pattern that is being revealed to you, anything about Mercury retrograde. Now, again, I did do a video all about this Mercury retrograde, and I think about maybe about a third of the way in, maybe a little bit more, maybe over half actually, we're halfway in. I did talk about this Aquarius energy, the themes that are coming up. I'll make sure that there is a link to this video so that you can watch that as well. I did talk about the themes that could be coming up, but if you have any questions around that, feel free to message me, right? If you have any questions about this identity of the version of how do I be grounded and curious? Like, how do I do that? Let me know. I'd love to come back in and talk about that. Or if you are in that leadership transition and you're like, yeah, I'm realizing this is the pattern. Like, let's call it out, my friend. The first thing is awareness. The first stage of healing is awareness. You've got to be aware that there's a pattern. All right, so let's go ahead and before we before we close today, two things. So first off, I want you to remember that retrogrades, Mercury, the planets, right? They're not trying to do anything. All they are asking, all they are doing is revealing to you what, where, how you might be out of alignment, okay? So if you want to practice this kind of grounded, conscious leadership consistently, the Sacred CEO Collective is opening in March. This isn't about surviving. This is about becoming the version of yourself that is unshakable, right? That knows the seasons are coming, that understands the cycles and moves through them in her power. If you want more information on Sacred CEO Collective, it's a brand new community. It's a space for sacred CEOs. Comment Sacred CEO down below. I would love to share more information with you about that. All right, let's go ahead and end with a prayer. So let's go ahead and take a nice deep breath in and letting it all go. All right, I recognize right here, right now, that there is one intelligence moving through all of life, one presence, one power, one creative law. And this present does not operate in chaos. It operates in order, in refinement, and in evolution. Nothing is random, my friend. Everything is for me. The universe is unfolding with divine intelligence before me. Even when disruption happens, even when chaos happens, there is wisdom for us all. And I know this to be true. Even in uncertainty, there is revelation. I recognize that all of life is moving in perfect correspondence with the growth that here right now, this collective seeks. And I know that this same intelligence that lives within me, the power that governs the stars, the power that governs my nervous system, our nervous system, the wisdom that orders the universe, orders our response. And I am not separate from this power. I am this power. I am an expression of this power. I am not at the effect of circumstances. I am a conscious participant in the creation of my life, and I calmly seek what is already here, what is already within me, what I already know. And that clarity I desire is already available to me. the leadership I am stepping into, that we here now, the person that is listening to this, the stepping into is already encoded in our being, in our DNA. And I declare, I lead first. We lead ourselves first. We respond from grounded authority. We release the habit of reacting. We release the need to control. We release the illusion that anything outside of us holds our power. When disruption arises, we meet it with grounded curiosity. When tension arises, we meet it with steadiness. When uncertainty arises, we meet it with trust. I am capable, we are capable of holding change. We are capable of stretching into more, into the version of ourselves who we are called here to be. And I am capable, we are capable of becoming that person. We refine, we regulate, we lead. And I'm grateful for every moment that reveals this to me, to us. We are grateful for the refinement, for the growth, for the opportunity to practice being conscious leaders. We feel the groundedness now. We feel the clarity, the steadiness, the consciousness, the identity shift. It is done and it is truth. And we release it now, knowing that our word, my word, is law. I trust the intelligence that lives within me. I walk forward curious and calm. And so it is. Take a nice deep breath in, my friend. Letting it all go. All right, my friend, that wraps up this week's Sacred CEO sessions. If you've enjoyed this, please, please, please give this a thumbs up or heart this wherever you are watching this. If you would like to see more of this stuff, please let me know in the comments. Remember, my friend, the more and more that we together communicate and share and talk, the more when we get this information out there, the more that we can help others who are in need. So if you are like, I really enjoyed this, first off, give that a thumbs up or heart it. If you would like to comment, leave a comment down below, your biggest takeaway, something that you're moving through. If you have a question, feel free to leave it down below. And if somebody you know could use this information as well, please, my friend, share it. Share it out. This is how we grow the channel. This is how we grow the message. If you believe in this, please, please, please share it out. All right, my friend, with that, we end this time together. Have a great rest of your day. And remember to keep shining your unique